So that I'm talking about different things. Things I talk about in this episode include reason, reading, diet, and values. So first off, I'm going to go with reason. So I would say I am more a person of reason than of science or religion. Um, yeah, I think I think that to be honest, there's a lot of religious dogma. To be honest, and like a lot of people don't actually just like question whether they like. I don't have anything against people that believe in God and are religious, but I just think like you should at least like question your beliefs in that. Then I'm gonna talk about what I think as well. Scientific dogma. So I think like even it can happen even in science as well. You have dogma, like you just like take for granted the whatever in even in science. So yes, that's why I prefer to just go off reason based off what I make up my own mind on certain things based. I would say more, to be honest. If I could pick between the two, I think probably I'd go between religion and science. I would go. I would probably more go with science, to be honest. Yeah, to be honest. Yeah. But even then, even if I'm going with science, I'm still gonna like question the most things in like in it, to be honest. Like I'm still gonna like do that. There's no reason, because I don't think there's no reason to just believe something without first questioning it, because then it's just like blindly following whatever. So there's no like I don't think you should do that. Next up, I'm going to talk about reading. I talked about reading in an episode prior to this, but I'm going to talk about it again. I just believe in like the importance of just having knowledge and using knowledge. I think that's the most important thing, to use the knowledge which you have. That's really important. Yeah, because yeah, reading and then using the knowledge that you have. I'm not even talking about books, I'm just talking about reading in general with certain things. Just read and then use the knowledge which you have, and then because that's what a lot of people just don't do. They don't like actually use the knowledge which they have. They just find knowledge or whatever. I think that's kind of why even you see in like kind of like education, and you see in like people in academics and stuff, you see like, because it doesn't really you can have loads of knowledge, but then it doesn't really like you're not really like using it, so it's just like it's like that's why yeah, so using knowledge is just far more important, I think, than just merely having knowledge. My favorite quote, which I read whilst I was reading, was this. I think this still is my favorite quote, or one of my favorite quotes, is knowledge is not power, execution is power. So there you go. Um, yeah, I'm not going to say what book I got that from. Yeah, and yeah, but anyway, um, yeah, execution is power. That's the thing. Like actually using the knowledge which you have, that's power. Because like you can have lots of knowledge about certain things, but if you're not going to take action on certain things or whatever, then it doesn't really make a difference. Because yeah. Now I'm going to talk about moving on. I'm going to talk about diet. So I think diet is really important. I think figure out what diet works for you. It could be veganism, it could be vegetarian, it could be being vegetarian, it could be even people talk about the Atkins diet and the ketogenic diet, and there's all these different diets, paleo diet, whatever, or you could just have, or you could not really, or you could even just like not care about your diet. You could just do other thing, to be honest. But I think figure out what diet works for you and use that diet, because like food and diet is energy. And like, yeah, like if you didn't like, we all need to eat. Like if you didn't eat, you'd probably like starve and die. So like we need to eat. So figure out what diet works for you. I've found some foods that like can give like, I found there's certain foods I really like energy bars and stuff. I found them, they're like really good when you just want to just like go around and do whatever, and you just like you can just eat them. They're really good. Yeah, energy bars, I think they're really good, to be honest. Not like processed energy bars where they put like loads of sugar in it, but like energy bars, like if you can find it that actually tastes nice and is healthy, that's like that's what I really like. I like food that tastes nice and is really healthy. That's what I like. Yeah. And then I'm going to talk about, I talked about this in another episode before, but I'm going to talk about it again. I'm going to talk about values. If you haven't done this, I think this is a really worthwhile exercise to just figure out what your values are and what you value. Write it down and then stick by those values. And yeah, because that way, like, I found like you're like, yeah, that helps a lot. Like figure out and then stick by those values. It is like, this isn't necessarily for me anyway. This isn't like people talk about. You have in like religions and stuff. You have in Christianity, for instance, you have the Ten Commandments. Like, for me, I am religious, but I think the reason why it's value structure. I think, to be honest, that's why I think so many people find like meaning in a lot of these like ancient texts and stuff, because it's value. It's a that's not value. Obviously, that's not value, but it's important to have a value system or something that you like live your life by. For me, I'm not really that religious, so that's why I have my own values. To be honest, I would say, for me, I would say my religious beliefs, to be honest, I'd say I'm more what's called agnostic. So like, it pretty much, I think what it is you do, but also don't believe in God. So like, I do, but then I don't. Like I like seriously question like whether or not like God or like higher power exists. But I don't like say God does exist, but I also don't say God does not exist. Yeah, to be honest. Yeah, I think a lot of people like, I don't know, I think there's a lot of conflict between, there can be a lot of conflict between religion and science and beliefs, just in that regard, between the two. I think there kind of is a middle ground, to be honest, between the two. Yeah, to be honest, anyway. Like, yeah, I don't think you have to be, I don't think you have to believe. That's why I like being agnostic, because it means like I don't have to believe in, I don't have to like 100% believe in God. And I also don't have to 100% not believe in God. I can be in between. That's why I like being agnostic. I would say I am agnostic, to be honest. And that was a personal choice I just made. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and talk about values. So values are really, really important. You, yeah, that's a useful exercise. Write down your values. I think that would be beneficial to you. I'm gonna end this episode here. So goodbye. Hopefully I'll see you in the next episode.